So what's up, guys? We are still very much celebrating in Nigeria over Adesanya knocking the L out of Alex Pereira, if I'm pronouncing that well, or Pereira, anyone you want to pronounce it. Well, and the crazy thing is that after the whole show, they came together and showed some kind of solidarity, like a sportsmanship, hug it out and then encourage each other more. I don't know if they're going to be another rematch. I don't know, because the deal is usually too much. Whenever I want to start the first deal, whenever I want to start the first match, they sign deal for too much, you know. And I don't know, guys. I don't know if they're going to be a rematch. But Adesanya is currently enjoying himself with Adekule Gold, Nigeria Adekule Gold in USA. Of course, after the whole thing, they also went to club to enjoy themselves, and also Usman as well was still with them. Oh no, I want Usman to take back his belt. That's the next Nigeria act I want, so that I can take back his belt, and then of course, it will be complete. Although Francis Igalo was still celebrating Israel Adesanya, but not in that arena, because it's not part of the UFC anymore. He left the USA due to some rules and regulations. It's not part of the UFC, but it was there's a video that showed him actually really happy for Israel Adesanya. This is a guy who said, "See, put your money on me. I'm going to deliver. I'm going to deliver." And for those people who put their money on Israel Adesanya, of course, you saw how he delivered. He got his belt back. It's extremely, really, really hard for anybody to get his belt back after they have taken it. Extremely hard, guys. Extremely, extremely hard. And our big boys in Nigeria, what I mean by big boys in Nigeria, our Nigeria politicians also took the time to congratulate Israel Adesanya. You see one coming from Peter Obi, and the other one coming from our president-elect, Tinubu. Peter Obi wrote, he said, by decisive knockout his opponent, by decisively knocking out his opponent and regaining his UFC middleweight title last night, Israel Adesanya proved that persistence is the path to reclamation. Congratulations, valiant champion. That's good for Peter Obi. It kind of like make a lot of sense, though. If you check the first speech, he said, by decisively knocking out his opponent and regaining his UFC middleweight title, Israel Adesanya proved that there's persistence in the path of reclamation. And Peter Obi is trying to, according to him, reclaim his mandate. And meanwhile, our president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, congratulations to Israel Adesanya on reclaiming the UFC middleweight title. He never stopped believing in himself, and we did not stop believing in him. Just like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who said, he never stopped believing that he would be the next Nigeria president-elect. And he believed, and then he got it. If you check their two speech, it kind of like indirectly directed to their own, to the last general election. It's the person that we are celebrating now, and as Nigerians, we have to celebrate it because he's always repping Nigeria. Whenever I want to come on stage, he will take that white, green flag. Despite growing up in New Zealand, this guy still holds dearly to his heritage, to his origin, and he knows very well you cannot just go out there and be forming white man with forgetting where you come from, forgetting your roots. That's the reason why I love Israel Adesanya and some of others in Nigeria athletes out there, like Usman, Karim Usman, and of course Anthony Joshua as well. They never forgot their heritage. But meanwhile, Meanwhile, we are celebrating and enjoying ourselves. Please, let's not forget about Benue. But before we talk about Benue, let's talk about the recent gesture from none other than Peter Obi. So Peter Obi saw this man, a very old man, who was supposed to fly to Abuja for medical attention, but unfortunately their flight was rescheduled. Peter Obi came across him and be like, you know what? I am flying to Abuja on a private jet. You know what? Follow me. According to eyewitnesses, he said, while they are plotting against him, he was busy offering helping hands to those in need. How he, Peter Obi, helped a man on a wheelchair going for medical checkup in Abuja, whose flight was rescheduled, by arranging for a private jet to take him. Apparently, it's not able, if he wasn't able going to Abuja, he arranged for a private jet to take this man to Abuja. Peter Obi arranged a private jet to take this man to Abuja. You know, I was having a debate with my friends yesterday, and according to what he said, we should actually sit down to reason. We should actually sit down to reason. How come Peter Obi, the only thing they are trying to blackmail Peter Obi with is a recent audio, is religion. That's to tell you how clean this man is. Because as a politician, your history are supposed to be dug out. I believe opposition may have digging deep into this man's life. No one financial crisis. They couldn't find one single thing. They even tried as much as possible to set him up with women. They couldn't find one single thing. This man would able cheat. Peter Obi never cheat before his wife. So we were just having a general discussion that I said, if they could only see audio about this man that Peter Obi denied, then you should know the man they claim. They have never seen such politician before in Nigeria. Then I kind of reason with him clearly. And I can see a lot of you say, Adamslink, you are biased. You like Peter Obi. Even someone said, if Adesanya come outside don't support Peter Obi, I will find something to say about Alex Adesanya that will criticize Alex Adesanya. Man, brother, you have not been watching me for so long. Oh, why now? How could you say that about me? So the first thing you're going to say about me is that when somebody asks you, how is this YouTuber? How is he? You feel like, Adamslink is very, very biased. Come on, man. You are not speaking good about me. That is not me. That is not me. Bias no dey close to me at all. I dey say my truth just the way it is. And I try as much as possible to be constructive and to be careful. Because na Naija we dey. That's the only thing I believe you can accuse me of, and I will agree. Because I'm extremely careful with my words. I'm extremely careful criticizing anybody. Yes, you can say that about me, and I will agree. I know by myself, I'm holding back on criticizing anyone. I'm really, really holding back. Even when we are going through it, I'm really, really holding back not to criticize anybody. Because within Nigeria, then, like I've said before, let us not forget, we are enjoying ourselves now, celebrating Israel Adesanya, celebrating the win over elect Pereira, and the Tinubu congratulating him, Peter Obi giving somebody a good helping hand. Let us not forget about Benue. Let us not forget about Benue, guys. Let us not forget about Benue. Apparently, more than 50 persons were captured in Benue State. And no single media outline about this. No, like we don't know, we no longer care as Nigerians again. We just did laugh. Look at me, I'm laughing. Look at you, you possibly didn't even hear about it. We are just going about our life as if nothing they happen. They kidnapped 80 for one state recently again. 80. Election don't finish. People need to recover their money. God, please, any form of kidnapping, any form of crime that will ever befall any of us, any of our family, We cancel it in the name of Allah. By the special grace of God, by the special grace of Jesus Christ, we command him to cancel. It shouldn't come close to us, because when I think about all those things, I really be like, damn, this could be me. This could be my family. But God keeps safeguarding us, not because we are even way more better. God, I saw videos, guys. I cannot post it here. I can't. In Benue IDP camp. Apparently, not even apparently, this is something well known. And even Peter Obi even posted about it. He said, I am deeply saddened by the report of the visceral violence and gruesome killing of internally displaced people IDP in Benue State, another part of Benue, and the kidnapping of dozens of people in Wazamia village in Zamfara. School bloodletting is unconscionable and stand condemned. Government and all stakeholders must take extraordinary measures to address this menace that is impacting negatively on our existence as a nation. My deepest condolences to the family and friends and of those affected. May their soul rest in peace. For those kidnapped, my earnest prayers is for their safety and quick rescue. Meanwhile, I want to play you a video, a AI visual video from Kate Henshaw. It's not real, but I think the video is not real. Firstly, it's not real, but I think the video speaks deeply about how Nigerians view Nigeria.
Africa is a cemetery for Africans. When an African becomes rich, his bank accounts are in Switzerland. He travels to France for medical treatments. He invests in Germany. He buys from Dubai. He consumes Chinese. He prays in Rome or Mecca. His children study in Europe. He travels to Canada, the USA, and Europe for tourism. When he dies, he will be buried in his native country. Africa is a cemetery for Africans. How then can a cemetery be developed?
How then can a cemetery be developed? Well, thank you guys for watching. Boy again, Adamslink. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed. Catch you next time. Peace.